Okay, so joining us today, one of the first people a lot of crew goes looking for when they arrive on set, who's catering, and Ryan Siebert is a very familiar face around film sets. He is he's got a love of culinary that began while he was working in the service industry. Ryan furthered his culinary knowledge at the Culinary Arts Program at Le Cordon Bleu in Sydney, Australia, and shortly after became the executive chef of All Occasion Cruises, where he was preparing meals for 800 people every day. Ryan traveled to Thailand, studied Southeast Asian cuisine at an Institute of Thai Culinary Art, adding an Asian twist to his classic French cuisine and developing his own attractive style. With a new understanding of flavor, Ryan also traveled Western Canada, learning from top chefs to build his confidence and expand his knowledge. And then he founded Chefs on the Run, on-site catering company, which ran for over a year with success in Calgary, Alberta. He also has professional Red Seal certification, diplomas in superior cuisine and commercial cookery that has granted him international and national certificates. His confidence, experience, education, and love for beautiful, exquisite cuisine have led him to found Open Water Catering, which has been serving film industry, film sets for over 5 years. And as somebody who has eaten some of Ryan's meals, I can attest to them being fabulous. So with that, Ryan, I'm going to turn things over to you. Do you plan on sharing your screen with us today?
Do you see me up there right now?
Yes, we do. You are visible to all of our attendees. Some of our presenters are sharing screens and some are not. I just wasn't sure what your
No, I think you're just going to get myself today.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to mute myself. I'll be listening in and I will see you again in approximately 15 minutes.
Okay, thanks, Darlene.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, well, that was a good run on a little history of myself and open water catering and the background of how it all got started. We're in a position to be in Victoria, which is great, to be in the film set industry. We're basically an independent provider at this time right now, doing a few union shows on and off, but mostly independent. The hours can get long. But as we all know, food's the most important part of the film set operation. So the two key things to successful film set catering is good food and timing. Production likes to keep that camera rolling, so getting in and feeding good, putting out good food and really fast is our keys to success. Other than that, that's what we're there for. And getting in, getting the right equipment, getting a good name behind yourself, and the most important part is having a good team to back you up. And that's pretty much what's come down to film set catering. There's any questions?
Ryan, how many people would be on your team if you were going to say a largish set, which let's say 80 to 100 people, some of the bigger productions? How many people do you need alongside with you?
Yeah, we go from a crew from 2 to 3. For anything under 100, we do 2 guys, just 2 chefs. And over 100, we bring on a 3rd assistant chef. And depending on the moves as well, sometimes production would like to get caterers as close as possible to set, to save back on that travel time back and forth with the shuttles, and get the camera rolling again.
Great.
Got a question?
Can you explain the difference now? The team here is going to monitor the Q&As for us, so you don't need to do that. We will feed you questions once we're all done. Now, explain for our attendees here the difference between catering and crafty. Sometimes it gets confused.
Yeah, well, catering provides 2 static meals, breakfast and a lunch. It's more of a glorified lunch, and that's the bulk of the food. It's more of a home-style cooked, wedding-style buffet. Crafty is specialized and has their OFA, level 3 first aid. which also provides snacks in between meals. So depending on your crew call, breakfast is served at say 7. 3 hours after that, they get their lunch, and then follow that, they'd get a crafty snack, and then following after that, they get a hot lunch as well. So it's um, quite different. Catering is mostly set at circuses, and moving to set where crafty's always at set.
Mhm. Okay. Now, I'm always amazed when I'm on some of the larger sets. When I look at the catering, and it's often a food truck, catering truck, I'm always amazed at the array of offerings that you are able to produce out of that catering truck. How do you determine, and who do you work with to determine what your menu is going to look like?
We change our menu every day. If you're working with the same crew for an extended period of time, could be from a independent movie of the week to a larger union show. So you're with the same guys for quite a long time. So keeping it interesting, and from fine dining to pub style to comfort food, changing it every single day. And a lot of the time it's based on the budget. Production sets a budget on what we're gonna set up, and that determines how much food we're gonna present.
Now, so you arrive on set with your food truck, and you have a lot of setup to do. I'm curious about your advanced prep. Do you also have a kitchen somewhere where you have a team who's getting all the prep work done, and then they load the truck up? Or how does it actually work from your grocery shopping to serving up hot food for film set crews?
Yeah, we use wholesale Cisco commercial food services to deliver our food on site. We do all of our prep. 90% of our prep is done the day of. We'll bring in a third chef now and then for small vegetable preps and things like that, but we prepare and cook things fresh daily.
Okay. Now, how do you deal with, say, if on a large set, you undoubtedly have to deal with people with specific dietary issues.
Yeah.
How much does that factor into a day's work for you?
Well, narrowing down what that is, if it's severe anaphylactic or if it's just a preference. So getting to know that person, talking to them individually, and finding out what severity level they're on, and then how we can deal with it. So if it's a preference, then we'll just let us know in the line, and we'll just direct them to what ingredients or dishes have certain proteins or not that they're not looking for. If it's anaphylactic or something severely serious, then we'll make them something separately, completely separate, in a separate area of the kitchen, and pass that to them ourselves.
Okay, great. Um, what are the favorite dishes that you serve that you're getting asked for time and time again?
Oh, burger day.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
a burger.
The simple foods go a long way for sure. I mean, everybody loves a fine dining experience, but at the end of the day, it's burger days. One of our favorites that we come across and always ask for.
Great. Now, I'm very curious with the film industry reopening following our pandemic situation. How has this affected service from your company into the hands of cast and crew on set?
Yeah, greatly. I mean, this is the new normal that we're getting into now. We're fortunate to go to camera here on Monday, and we've just opened up a new branch into Crafty as well. So we're kind of following the lead from a few productions that are rolling in Vancouver as we speak, but we're kind of going into this with open arms, but we're following a strict protocol. All of our usual serving styles, methods have been changed to fit the new COVID-19 format. And so there's a lot of changes going on. Service will no longer be a buffet where crew can come and help themselves. Everything's done through plexiglass, taking orders by numerical system, and then passing those on through. So, and even as down to sauces and cutleries, everything's individually wrapped right now. hand sanitizing stations before you come to the truck and after you come. So masks to be worn. So there's a lot of new ground that to be covered through all this.
Great. Okay. Let me see. We've got some questions here. There was one more I was going to ask you, and now I've forgotten. So let's move on to some of the questions that have come in from our attendees here. And one I think we just covered, actually. Libby, hi Libby, asked about ideas and recommendations on catering and crafty in this COVID world, specifically regarding crew and cast needs being met in a safe way. And because I know Libby, like many of us who also work in the indie film world, we're working on much smaller, oftentimes volunteer sets. So what would your suggestions or recommendations be if you were asked to provide food on a small set, let's just say under 20 people, maybe 10, 15 people, and keeping them safe in this post-COVID world? It's not even post-COVID, it's COVID world.
COVID, yeah. Well, just kind of going back to that, it's we're posting our menu the day before or several days before, letting the cast and crew know what their options are, and taking that order prior to them having coming up, and then packaging that before they get there, and then before the plexiglass and everything, and then passing it through that way. Crafty has seen some very, very big changes as well. They're, that crafty style setup tent where everything was outside for cast and crew to help themselves. All those snacks and great things are no longer there. There's no more tents set up. Everything is served individually and pre-packaged. So,
yeah. So basically it's pre-packaging and eliminating points of common contact.
That's exactly it. Yeah, we're still, catering, we're still cooking everything fresh and, creating new, unique menu ideas. It's just all come down to the serving method. Now it's just eliminating that lineup, keeping that social distance, and just having us serve it to them.
Great, that's helpful. Thank you. Now, for people who are interested in getting into this line of work, what do you look for when you're hiring somebody, or what skills does somebody need to bring to the table to be able to find themselves on a film set and catering to cast and crew?
Yeah, kitchen experience is a key. There's a few positions in the past, setting up the buffet where you could come in at an entry level and salads, Grand Marnier, things like that, to work your way up to the chef position. Getting rid of those buffets right now, it's more or less getting into the heavy cookery part of things. So cooking experience is great to have. Driver's license is a must, having being able to move from set to set and working such early mornings.
Okay.
Oftentimes public transport's not around for that.
Well, that brings up another question someone asked. Tracy wants to know, does your crew live on site during productions? So
we did before back in Vancouver. If we were, say, working in Squamish or things like that, sometimes we would, but 99% of the time, no.
Okay. And another question here, as a chef that works during the week with weekends off, is there a need for on-site chefs on weekends? I'm hoping to fill my weekends with meaningful employment in catering. Are there any options for someone with that situation?
Sorry, looking for a weekend?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, oftentimes we do work on the weekends, which is based on locations. A lot of times, if they're using certain places, banks or certain halls that are occupied during the weekday, they'll get us in on a weekend, or depending on some of the cast or on what their schedule is as well. So it tends to be a Monday to Friday, but that does alter, and you can get some weekends in there. For us, we do weddings as well.
So do you normally, if you've, and there's two questions in here as well. One of them around how do you get the gig? Like, do you bid for it, or how does that go? And Okay, so maybe if you could answer that one first. Is there a bid process that you go through as a caterer?
Yeah, when you're part of the union, there's a job posting, and you bid for that job. And if you're selected, then you work out the details after that. In the independent world, I think a lot of it is word of mouth and reputation, and not so
Okay.
much bidding.
Okay. Now, Tracy wants to know, when food is shown in a film or TV show, do you create those dishes as well, like turkey dinners and Thanksgiving scenes, or is that all handled by a different department within the film production?
You know, it depends how minor and how big it is. Props takes care of all that, and sometimes you could be contacted from the props master to come by and for a bowl of rice or the turkey, perhaps, depending on where you are, how easy it is for us to prepare it. I mean, our days are pretty busy as it is, so you know, a lot of times these shows have canapes and things like that for weddings, and they'll source that out, or desserts. You could always be asked to provide that, and it just all depends on the caterers and how the day is going and what you have for workload.
Understood. Okay. Norman says, "Hi, Ryan. I'm a German trained Red SEAL, 6 years in Paris, France, 5 years in Australia, Noosa, Melbourne, 10 years on cruise ships. Are you interested in taking resumes?"
Yeah, hi Norman. Sounds like you got a great resume to back you up, and I'm sure you have a lot of skills. We're always looking for uh, for talented, good attitude employees all the time. And on the website openwatercatering.com, there's a place for employment. It just says contact, or you could just reach me directly. It's info at openwatercatering.com, and shoot me an email, and we can always talk.
And sorry, Ryan, your website name again is?
Openwatercatering.com. www.
Okay, openwatercatering.com. Let me see. Some of these we've already answered. Elliot says, "No question. Just wanted to say Ryan makes great food and also supplies toothpicks." So,
Thanks,
uh,
Elliot.
are you in need of more cooks here in Victoria?
And that just goes to say, I mean, we're always interested in growing our team, and you know, we work long hours. We often run a skeleton crew. We're always interested in talking and meeting like-minded professionals that are looking into getting into the industry.
Okay. Um, Somebody wants to know, what big stars have you served? Do you have any good actor stories?
Actor stories? I don't. I'm the kind of guy. That's why I'm in the kitchen. I stay behind the scenes. I hide in the trailer, and I cook the food. And there's a reason why I guess I went with the kitchens behind the scenes kind of action. I try to pass that all by. So I haven't gone out of my way to meet anybody. But we've been fortunate to work with a lot of great Canadian and American actors and actresses. But I'm the guy that you see in the kitchen.
Okay, great. Libby also wants to know, if you're taking orders ahead of time, is there a program that you use to kind of keep yourself organized? Are you like doing it old fashioned, on a piece of paper and a pen and special orders, or is there a program that you use that helps you organize all of your catering deliverables?
So, you know, on Monday, we're going to move to set, and they're going to break crew. In the past, they would have broken everybody at the same time. They're going to break them up individually to break down to secure that social distancing. And so our crews that we're dealing with aren't massive crews. You're looking anywhere between, you know, 5 to 10 people per crew. So that's just going to be all old school, handwritten, and that's going to relay to our first point of contact is going to be our someone that's going to be taking the orders, and that person's going to come up to us in the truck, place that order. We're going to create those orders and pass them on to their last point of contact, which will be outside the truck.
Okay. Is part of your contract typically involve also providing, a different menu for the stars of the show, or do you feed them the same kind of meals as are on the food truck.
Yeah, we like to think our food's good, and they would like to partake in our daily menu. But with that being said, some people have a diet that they're following, or just simple likes, and whatever they like, we're more than happy to accommodate. Absolutely. So we have to
Right.
be extremely adjustable.
And I think we'll just take one last question here, Ryan, before we let you go. Somebody wanted to be sure I think that they understood the list of qualifications beyond food safe 1 and 2, serving it right, a driver's license, line cook experience. Are there any additional qualifications that would benefit somebody seeking catering work? And specifically things like first aid, level 3 first aid.
Yeah, that's more into the getting into the crafty, the level 3 first aid. Having your first aid's never a bad qualification to have in your back pocket.
Right.
When it comes to training, a lot of caterers and restaurants, are happy to train on site to the way they like things done. It just comes down to one of the biggest attributes to have, and that's just a good attitude and the ability to be flexible. But all those that you listed off are key.
And Ryan, has Open Water got a Facebook page that, are you active on any of the social media platforms for people to maybe follow what you're up to?
Yeah, you bet. We are on Instagram and Facebook. We're we're active, but
Yeah.
slow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, yes, it's
I'm
sometimes,
not the most. Yeah, I'm not the biggest social media platform guy.
well, you sound like a guy who's probably too busy working to pay.
Looking forward to getting back. Yeah,
Great. And you said you're back to work on Monday?
yeah.
Is that Vancouver?
Victoria.
Victoria. Oh, I know which film production you're on then. That's great. Okay, well, wonderful, Ryan. We will let you go. Thank you for all the information. In a different environment, we might have asked you to serve us some tasty treats, but you get away today without having to cook for us. So we appreciate you taking the time to come and fill everybody in on your area of the industry. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was great to be here.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.